Wow, it looks so good up here.
We bought this 1980s house with everything included.
When he said he was leaving everything, he's left everything.
And now we're attempting to transform it into our dream home.
In the last episode, we installed a battery backup system for power outages.
But today we're getting back to the renovation, tackling our future bedroom, helping with Kevin's barn, and getting a surprise visit from some new friends.
There's a VW Synchro parked outside with German number plates.
We're Andy and MH. After 6 years driving across the globe, from California to Argentina, up to the Arctic, Europe to Turkey, and through Africa, we're now building our home base in Idaho, transforming a 1980s house into our dream home, wrenching on our rigs, and still chasing adventure. Well, you guys, not to be a broken record, but I feel like we are finally making forward progress upstairs, and we are going to make a big push to try and get this done.
A couple of months ago, we discovered our biggest setback to date.
That's bad.
Oh dear. Right now we've got insulation pushed right up against the OSB board, and we only got the roof last year. So we don't want to take the roof off, which means we're going to have to take the ceilings down.
It was a huge hit to have to tear down all of the ceilings and install spray foam, but we've made major progress over recent weeks. And now it's time to tackle the rest of the upstairs. Let's rewind a few weeks to when the upstairs was still a construction zone, and this room was little more than a blank canvas.
This doorway is so wide. That means if the bed goes here, because we want to look out to the view, well, the edge of the bed would be, I don't know, like, I think it was like here. So obviously, even though Mary Hannah's shorter than me, you still don't want to be ducking just to get into bed, ideally. So the plan is, instead of having this big doorway, we're going to push it all the way to the left and just have a normal sized doorway. And then that means that the bed can come over, and then we've got more usable space. We're just going to take that down, but I actually don't need to, do I? I'm pretty sure, like, just for a door, you don't need a header that's that big. Could be wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. Yeah, maybe I can just, just start building my stud wall to that side and leave that in. And then I don't have to mess around with any angles. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Just need to work out the width of the doorway. I think I'll do it the same distance from this wall. And then I'm thinking those doors will sort of like iron, like line through. So the stud wall will come to here, so then these will be coming out. Okay, it's not too bad. This weather in Idaho is so weird. It's just started snowing outside. I thought it were almost summer. One down, one to go. Can't write this stuff, can you? What am I doing here? That one and that one's wrong way around. Hey dear me. Come on, Andy. Yes, I did cut that short. I don't know how. We've got the father and son duo today. Joe finished work early, so he's come over to give us a hand and just finish off some wiring. And Jason's with him. Okay. So, Jason, future electrician or not?
Hopefully.
Jason doesn't quite know what he wants to do yet, and he's leaving school in 2 months. So if anyone out there has a contact at Dave's Autos in Salt Lake City, the engine builders, he'd love to do a work placement there for a week or 2. Someone must know someone who can get Jason some work experience. So I don't know why I was going wrong so much, but it's just one of those days, but we've got there in the end. I've actually just screwed it in because I didn't trust myself to nail it, so now I'm going to get it all nailed in and we're happy.
Wait, I actually like this even better. It now feels like the energy like flows through here. You know, like it's a straight shot.
But now you've got so much more room for the bed.
Yeah, this is way better. I mean, shout out to Joe, because this was actually Joe's idea to move the bed over to this wall, because the original plan was to put it on that wall over by the window. And now we'll have this beautiful view out 3 different windows. And this this must have been a lot of work, holy cow.
I kept cutting it wrong, so yeah, it took probably 3 times longer than it should.
Yeah, but it looks amazing.
Give it the old shape test.
It's not going anywhere. Today is a huge day because we've decided to bring in the professionals to finish off the drywall and mudding upstairs. My mom and I did the other room and the closet, which was amazing, and I'm really glad I got to learn so much stuff from her. But at the same time, it took, 4 or 5 days for us to do those 2 rooms, and there's a lot more space to do upstairs. And so with all the other projects that we have going on, we actually decided to listen to you guys who all recommended, hey, do all the projects that you want to do, but bring in the professionals for the mudding. But before they get here, we're going to take Benji boy for a quick little walk. Benji loves being outside, but all the grass, pollen, and dust can be really hard for dogs. Allergies can show up in dogs in a lot of different ways, like itching, paw licking, or something that we've noticed in Benji lately, which is eating grass. Hi, Tweety. That's why we're excited to partner with Better Wild. Better Wild makes vet-designed soft chew supplements that help your dog's overall health and immune system. Hey, buddy. They offer allergy soft chews, dental and multivitamin soft chews, and joint relief soft chews. And we've been using the allergy soft chews with Benji. These chews address the root cause of a lot of allergies, supporting overall digestion with ingredients like colostrum and salmon oil. Plus, they're way more affordable than a lot of medications and allergy shots. If you'd like to check them out, head to betterwild.com/expedition and use code expedition for an exclusive Better Wild offer. The code stacks on top of already discounted subscription pricing, but it only works through our link, so use the one below.
And if you order before August the 16th, you'll be entered into a draw to get the ultimate wolf watching trip in Yellowstone National Park.
Thanks to Better Wild for sponsoring today's video. Let's head back to the house and see what these drywallers can do.
But basically, yeah, you just keep your toe up and you can kind of see that line. I kind of stay away from that outside edge, Andy, and I can cut this down a little bit, but that'll true up with a chisel, you know, get a nice pristine edge on that.
Oh, I did look at some of the Japanese joinery yesterday.
Oh, isn't that fun? It's
Yeah.
amazing what they do.
All they were doing was, it needed a lower section of a beam or a stud replacing.
Oh.
And even though, like you said, it's all going to get covered up.
Yeah, they
Instead of
just-
replacing the whole thing, they put where you cut like that V shape and they sort of lock into each
Yeah,
other. And then,
a scarf joint in
yeah,
there.
they did all
Yeah.
that, even though it's getting covered up.
Oh, I know. They're so modest about it. I really appreciate that. You know, they use the best materials. I'm going to just slightly slope that, so I'm touching out here first. Now let's just roll that guy over. And then we'll slide it out this way a ways, Andy. There we go. A bit of a bump right there. And kind of slide this guy right into that, or close. Andy, just to get us some room. This is proper
just gonna come
technology.
closer.
Be careful, bud. Watch your back. That.
You ready?
2, 3. Okay. A little bit more, maybe. There we go. That gives us room to work on this one, Andy. Yeah. Make sure you keep your toe up. Watch that beam. It does have a little rock to it. Yeah, just keep your one toe up or wherever you're hitting towards. You can put one foot behind the other if that helps you too.
Yeah, I think that's more
And
right
like I
foot
said,
forward.
just put your toe up where. Yeah, there you go.
These hiking boots, they're so stiff that it just
Oh,
stays straight.
gotcha. Oh, yeah.
So
You
I'm
ever
actually, Kevin said have a go, but I'm a bit worried because I don't want to get it wrong. But
Oh,
let's
no,
have a
it's
go.
all right. Yeah, and it'll stay on there. Yeah, that.
Okay, so that line basically there.
Yeah, pretty close. And like I say, you can take a little extra meat out of that center, Andy. Isn't going to hurt a thing. I just kind of stay away from these edges.
Yeah.
You'll get an idea, feel for the curvature. You're doing great. Yeah. You can stand up a little straighter too, and then you'll get a little different feel for your angle, you know.
So I don't want to go much further back.
Oh, and it
do I?
doesn't really hurt, Andy. Like I say, that's not going to hurt a thing. Yeah, I just take a, here, perfect. You can actually take a 30-seconds of an inch when you get onto it. I think that's great, bud. Yeah, I'll just even take a little bit more right in that area. This axe isn't as sharp as that other one. I've been using it out in the woods. That should be about 1.5 inches. That's what I meant to make it. About 1 7/16 inches. There we go. And now I can lacerate all that. Great. Okay. Oh, it's close. Just that twist in it. There she goes. Oh, she's just super duper tight. Just split that off. That's pretty darn close. That's just going to be a little twisted till I get it out.
Nice.
Not bad. It's got a little light through there, but I'm not worried about it. One down, 5 more to go on this side.
So how many people to do the raising, do you think?
Oh gosh, in the old days, I mean, 100.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, they just all by hand. So
Do
they
we have
would
enough people?
What's that?
Do we have enough people?
Oh yeah. It's not anything. You know, we'll probably mechanize a little bit. Like I
Yeah.
say, with Bruce's backhoe, would be awesome. But they would do it all by hand. So they'd have these pike poles, and they'd get it started off the floor. They just block it, pry it up, and get it on blocks about waist high or sawhorses. Then you just have as many people just shoulder to shoulder, and you start lifting that, and there'd be another group behind them with pike poles, and then as it rises, and then there's men riding it up to tie all the purlins as they. So there's 5 or
so there's
6
people
guys
on
that were
top of it?
riding it. Yeah, it was the old
That'd be
saying.
fun though. Are you putting these in the car or?
I was, Andy.
Wow, it looks so good up here.
Looks so amazing up here. I am so glad that we got the professionals in to do this. We ended up taking off a couple of days, going and hanging out with our friends, going down to the lake, doing Highland games.
Okay, so as you can tell from Jason's accent, he's from the Scottish Highlands, and he actually competed in the Highland Games, so we're having a little family Highland Games in North Idaho.
What's that one called?
It's the caber. But obviously this is a very small caber, and a normal caber is probably 20-25 feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're pretty big. And then they're going to weigh between 120 150 pounds.
Holy cow.
Lock your fingers.
Yeah, you'd normally lock your fingers, and then in the real games you'd have resin, and that would kind of help your hands stick together. Boom.
And the goal of this is to do what?
12 o'clock, so it'll go over on its end, and then as it falls, you get they'll give you a clock score. So, boom, 12 o'clock.
Yep.
You know, and then
It's a degree off.
As far as you can go.
not as, some games will do it as far as they can go, or a combination of clock and distance. But
Yeah.
traditionally,
So
you'd
you're
use a
trying to
clock.
keep a straight line.
Yeah, straight line.
Come get your rescue.
So there you go. Perfect score, first attempt.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Dad, can we do it again?
You lock your fingers together. Yeah. Now.
Cheers. Woo! How was that, Jace?
Baltic.
That was fun.
Was that a little bit cold?
Yeah.
So our friends have come up from California, and I were hoping to bring them here, but the weather's been like terrible, and we've just had a break in the weather, and it's pretty perfect right now. We've just gone for a dunk in the cold water. I'm gonna make a fire so we can heat up. We've got the barbecue going. It's so nice to take some days off again from doing the projects. So Idaho hot dog.
Idaho hot dog.
I don't know how to drive it.
Yeah, you're gonna do great. It's just been amazing to take a little bit of a pause and then come back and all of this is done.
These guys have absolutely smashed it out of the park. Every time you looked away, you looked back and they'd already done the next section.
Yeah.
Even just bringing the boards in from outside. By the time I'd had a cup of tea, they'd brought like 20 boards each upstairs.
It's crazy, isn't it?
They were beasting it.
Yeah.
Not only have they done dry, putting the boards on and then skimming it, they've also skimmed all these walls to get rid of the rough texture.
Yeah, that is one thing that I really am so stoked that they ended up doing, because we were gonna have some walls that were really smooth and then some walls that were still textured that were original walls, and they ended up skimming over everything. So now we have smooth walls on every single surface, which is amazing.
It's so nice. and
It looks
tidy.
new.
Even the little room has been skimmed.
Even Benji Boy's room looks skimmed.
Is it? Does that mean it is going to be Benji
I think
Boy's
it's
room?
gonna be Benji Boy's room. I think it'd be so cool, like build a little half wall or something here, and behind there can be storage. And then he has a huge bed, and right now it's just sitting next to my bed downstairs, so I had to step over just to get into bed, and he can have this whole space.
I think he'd like that.
Oh, I think he'd love it. Cute.
I like that idea.
Yeah. And not only have they done this bedroom, they have also boarded and mudded in here, in the hallway, in the closet, and in the storage area where our Jackery setup went. This would have obviously taken us weeks to do, and the fact that they did this in 3 days is crazy. So now Andy and I can start to prime, finish the trim work, and get to the next phase, painting, decorating, and all the stuff you guys know I love. So Andy's gonna work on all of the trim work around the windows, and I am gonna work on priming.
This window doesn't really have like a seal. Like I could just pull this out with my fingers now, but I've put a screw there just so it don't fall on me. And it does look a bit dark around this sill, so I'm thinking, and once I've put all this in, I'll have to go back to the outside and then reseal it just so that no water's getting in. Every time we say goodbye, baby, hurts.
Not entirely sure what we're gonna do with this space yet. Because as you can see, it's really awkward back here. But might as well paint it.
I've sealed the gaps now. They had quite a big gap, like you could fit your fingers in, and there was no sealant in there, so I've sprayed in there and I've cut it back, and now I'm going to start trimming this up. I'm getting closer to decorating. I actually don't even know what Mary Hannah's idea is for how she wants to theme this room, but I'm sure she's got plenty of ideas on a Pinterest board, so I'm probably just as excited as you guys to see what she wants to do in here. All right, it's that front or back? Let's have a look. There's a bit of bow in these because I didn't store them properly. Ooh, this is a tiny bit small, but I think a bit of decorator's cork might help me out on that one. And the Hawkeyes amongst us might have noticed in the background while I've been framing this out, there's a VW Synchro parked outside with German number plates. We've actually got our first German overlanders visiting us. It's been really cool. We've just been sharing stories last night. We had a meal together and just had a good time and looking at each other's vehicles and all that sort of stuff.
My favorite workspace, kind of, you know. I'm just editing videos here.
So that's the inside of this window down. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more windows to go, and then that's this room done. Right, that's another window down. It's time for a cup of tea and maybe a bit of a treat.
Cup of tea?
Oh, is that like scones or what?
Yeah.
Nice, proper.
I can't remember the last time I had one.
And you normally have salted butter or unsalted? Because
I like salted butter.
yeah,
In Germany, it's
the
not-
big British debate.
Something.
No?
No.
The big debate is though, do you put clotted cream on first or do you put jam on first?
yeah, and what's your conclusion on it?
I think
I
I've got
put
it.
clotted cream on
Yeah.
first.
Okay, so I'll do it. I'll just take over your way to do it.
It's not bad for something that I just got off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you ordered them online? Oh, nice.
Okay, I've just finished my tea and scones, but I'm going to take a little break from the upstairs and we're going to do a little bit of a maintenance on the VW. We felt this a lot when we were travelling. Little jobs would build up and you never had anywhere to do them. So anytime someone ever offered us a place where we can do these little jobs like laundry and showers, maintenance on your vehicle, we'd always take them up. So now it's our turn to pass it on to an international overlander and just offer our house up to them and see what they need doing. They've shipped over from Germany and they've been driving across Canada, and the plan was to drive down the Pan American Highway, so basically from the top of Alaska down to the bottom of Argentina. And then when they've got to North America, they've fallen in love with the place. So now they've actually started the visa process to try and get a visa to live in Canada. Old VW, so the engine is in the back.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how it works. I've got a little bit of extra garage storage down here.
And if you're wondering, oh, I've heard that Germans are very tidy. Yes, look how tidy everything is in here.
Yeah, for sure.
They've passed the real German test. This is what I mean Look at the strap, all perfect. Everything's got strapped around. The shoes all fit perfect.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, this is pretty German, I guess.
Is this skate gear? Is that American or is
South
that
Africa.
South? Yeah, I thought it was South Africa.
Yeah.
He's actually taken the original engine out. I think basically your options for this were either a 1.9 petrol engine or a...
And then they made a 2.1 petrol engine and then a 1.6 diesel.
Yeah,
Turbo diesel.
but all of those engines are pretty slow, right?
2.1 is okay-ish.
Okay.
But then with the travel weight, you know, you're like more than 6,000 pounds on this.
So it's upgraded from a Mark III Golf, or it might... Is that called a Rabbit in America? Anyway, VW hatchback. So it's got the 1.9 turbo diesel engine in. A little bit more modern, and it does have an ECU, but it's only a very basic ECU, so you're sort of getting best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I've never seen a dipstick that's just like bent over.
Yeah, you have to do it, otherwise it would be closed.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
is this...
I just heated.
Yeah.
Okay, but still...
So I've never seen one of these before. So it's got like a quick connect on the oil drain plug. So I just unscrewed it with my hand, then that's going to go on, and then you've got a nice lead going off. I might have to invest in one of these. So is that open now? Oh yeah, it's coming out. That's easy.
It's easy. And it's if you've got a normal like jerry can or just an old oil canister, you can...
So you're
have
never
it
going to
really
spill
clean.
oil?
No, not really, yeah.
Is this new oil?
Yeah, why is that?
It's dark? Is this what liquid moly's like? What? I've never seen that before.
Must be the MOS anti-friction.
That looks like a used oil.
Yeah, it looks like used oil.
That's crazy. I don't know if you can see this, but it literally looks like used oil. If that didn't have a lid in it, I would not put it on.
Okay.
Looking good. It looks so fresh.
We are one step closer to having our bedroom finally done. So you're almost there, aren't you?
Everything is pretty much organized now. So like we've got bags. That's obviously a bit of trash. All the clothes up here.
Instead of having this big doorway, we're going to push it all the way to the left and just have a normal sized doorway. Seems like a long time ago, because it was a long time ago that we came up here and we said, okay, big push, we'll have this bedroom done in 2 weeks, and then since then we've ripped ceilings down, we've spray foamed, but now we're primed, we've got trim on. Mary Hannah's just coming in here, and then she thought she was going to go pick paint tomorrow, but it sounds like you might have changed your mind.
I had this plan in my head for what this room was going to be painted, and it was a really dark color. And then after coming up here today, and the light just seems to be so good throughout the day up here, and I read this thing recently, it's like a rule of thumb that if it's a bright room, keep it bright, and if it's a darker room without a lot of sunlight, then paint it dark. So now I'm debating, do I go for something lighter? So it is Friday, June 5th right now. We're gonna post this video tomorrow morning. I'm gonna buy paint this weekend. So here are the different options. I'll put them on the screen of what I'm kind of imagining, the two different directions I could go. Let me know what you guys think we should do. I don't know. I will read all the comments tomorrow too, so please give me feedback. But whatever direction we end up going, it just feels like we've come such a long way upstairs. And I'm so excited to just be at the stage that I can actually start to order furniture. And I just got curtain samples in, carpet's gonna be going down soon, and I gotta pick paint out for this weekend. So yeah, I'm just really happy. I feel like we've gotten over the hill that we were kind of on the other side of for a really long time. And now it's a big push to try and get this bedroom done and finally get to move into it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next week.
And please hit that subscribe button. It costs naught to you, but means a lot to me.